And here I am back at the park. Genesis chapter 8. The flood ceases. Noah sends forth a dove, which returns with an olive leaf. He releases all living things from the ark. He offers sacrifices, seed time and harvest, and seasons assured. And God remembered Noah, and every living thing, and all the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. The fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of 150 days, the waters were abated. And the ark rested in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountains seen. Okay, now let's look at the timeline just a little bit. They went into the ark in the 2nd month on the 17th day. It says that the ark came to rest on the 17th day of the 7th month. 5 months later, 150 days. Approximately. That is, we actually, I think you can say 30 days to a month. This is the Hebrew calendar, 30 days to a month. But it was the first day of the 10th month. So 73 days later that the mountains were first seen. The tops of the mountains became visible. 73 days after the ark came to rest in the mountains of Ararat. So, verse 6. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made, and he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from off the earth. Also he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her, and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came in to him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from off the earth. And he stayed yet other 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him any more. Okay, so we're watching as the waters go down. Ark rests after 150 days. 73 days later, we start seeing the tops of the mountains. He waits another 40 days. 40 and 73 is 113, plus 150, 263 days later. We're getting pretty close to a year now. And after that, he lets out a raven and a dove. The dove comes back, so he waits 7 more days. Now we're at 270 days. Sends the dove. This time it brings back the olive branch, or the olive leaf. But he waits another 7 days. That's 277 days so far. But I do want to say, I mentioned in my previous video that he only took the food that was needed to feed his family and the animals. He didn't bring seeds, he didn't bring on trees or anything. He just brought the food that was needed. And this is proof that the plants, even though being drowned for over 200 days is going to kill most plants, but plants are very resilient, and as soon as the waters had receded enough, the plants started growing again, because the dove found an olive tree from which it took a leaf. And it says it was plucked off, which means the leaf was still green. This was not a dead leaf. This was a living leaf that it had plucked off of a tree. Proof that the plants were still growing, or were growing back now. But then we continue here, verse 13. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried up from off the earth, and Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 7th and 20th day of the month, was the earth dried. So again, we're seeing this progression. He's waiting and he's watching. After the dove doesn't come back, he goes out and takes a look. Now, this says, and it came to pass 601st year, in the first month, on the first day of the month. Now, they left on the 17th of the second month, so that is 47 days. Well, 47 days less than a year. But they don't leave the ark here. So second month on the 7th and 20th day. 1 year and 10 days. And God spake unto Noah, saying, this is verse 15. God spake unto unto Noah, saying, Go forth of the ark, thou and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. Bring forth with thee every living thing that is with thee of all flesh, both of fowl and of cattle, and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, that they may breed abundantly in the earth, and be fruitful, and multiply upon the earth. And Noah went forth, and his sons, and his wife, and his sons' wives with him, every beast, every creeping thing, and every fowl, and whatsoever creepeth upon the earth after their kinds, went forth out of the earth. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast, and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled the sweet savor, and the Lord said in his heart, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I again smite any more everything living, as I have done, while the earth remaineth, seed time and harvest, and cold and heat, and summer and winter, and day and night shall not cease. So this is God's promise to never again destroy the earth. But he also, I find that also interesting, I will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. Remember, after the fall, God cursed the ground for Adam's sake. Now, he says he's not going to curse it anymore. I'm actually not sure what that means. I find it very interesting that he says it, though, because it does feel like the ground is still a bit cursed. But I will say, I don't know. Maybe before the flood, their crops weren't quite as big as they are now. With all of our technologies, maybe we're able to grow more than they used to. But I don't know. But here's one thing. There is a Joseph Smith translation here, really quick, on verse 20. So, and Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. Here's the Joseph Smith translation for this. And Noah builded an altar unto the Lord, and took of every clean beast and of every clean fowl, and offered a burnt offering on the altar, and gave thanks unto the Lord, and rejoiced in his heart. And the Lord spake unto Noah, and he blessed him. And Noah smelled a sweet savor, and he said in his heart, I will call on the name of the Lord, that he will not again curse the ground any more for man's sake. For the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, and that he will not again smite any more every living thing, as he hath done, while the earth remaineth. Now that is an interesting change. It's not God who is saying this. God doesn't smell the sweet savor. That's kind of a pagan idea anyways, that you make sacrifices and the gods smell the aroma and it pleases them, and so they give you blessings and stuff because they're pleased by this aroma of your burnt offering. But no, it was Noah who smelt it, and he was pleased by the smell. And he was thinking, maybe it's a good time to ask God not to flood the earth again. And maybe we can lift that curse on the land. Maybe God didn't, though. It doesn't say God did. It just says Noah was going to ask him to. I find that interesting. I find that very interesting. But we'll leave it there.